Welcome to IP Talk Radio. I'm your host, Matthew Smith, and I'm here today with Jan Haglund, who is the new head of Ericsson's IP and Broadband product area. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk a little bit about operator network challenges and some of the technologies that they're going to use to help them transform their network and transform their business models. You've been with Ericsson a long time, and I've recently stepped up to take leadership of the IP and Broadband team. Tell me a little bit what you think the key challenges are for operators right now when it comes to how they can make money and how they can use the network.
Well, thank you, Matt. I think operators are up for a great opportunity now with all the interest in broadband, both mobile broadband and fixed broadband, and all the over-the-top services. I think the key now is to really, in a cost-effective way, handle the capacity requirements and also obviously to monetize on all the services in the network.
This monetization issue is at the forefront of many conversations I've had with other people in this show. A lot of it is coming down to how you implement smart features in the network to be able to differentiate services. Now, tell me a bit about where these features go and what they do. Tell me about what operators can do with this technology in policy control areas and that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I think the smartness and the intelligence will happen throughout the network, and really the service awareness, the understanding in the network, what's going on, and the possibility to take educated decisions on that. And that could be a decision of quality of service, for example, where you prioritize something. It could be a decision of charging, where you actually monetize or charge. It could be a way of segmenting your market. So I think there are several revenue streams, either towards end users or towards application providers, that are up for grabs for operators.
And operators have so far been using some of this policy control technology just to make their network a bit easier to control. So they'd be throttling back the heavy users and applying these fair usage technologies. But we hear a lot about these new packages, as you mentioned, subscriber-based packages. Are there any good examples out there of how this is starting to be introduced?
Absolutely, there are plenty of examples. I think we were expecting this to happen maybe for enterprise and high-end markets, and I see that happening also. But I think the initial deployments of policy control and advanced things are actually in developing markets like Southeast Asia. A lot of interest coming through from Africa, really where operators want to lower the threshold for new users coming into the network, like buying 15 minutes of Facebook, for example.
Yeah,
sounds simple enough, but requires pretty advanced functionality in the network.
And so much of this is now happening mobile, which is why Ericsson, of course, is being exposed to a lot of these cases, especially, as you say, in developing markets where the mobile uptake has been so huge and broadband is accelerating so fast. Tell me a little bit about the technologies that Ericsson provides to enable these features. From the access through to the core and so forth.
No, it's right, as you say, that a lot of this has been pioneered on the mobile side, which really makes Ericsson ever so more relevant. But one main trend is that it's happening now both on the mobile and the fixed side. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to really provide something, you can call it converged if you want. Part of what this means to us is that we have to move at the speed of internet. It sounds like a slogan, but it's really true. I see those requirements coming across now for customers that they want to follow new over-the-top services on a almost weekly or at least monthly basis, which will challenge some of our traditional development models, release structures, etc.
Absolutely. And let's focus on the technology a little bit now that network operators will use to enable these kind of services. On the one side, they've got access technology. You talked about convergence. So if myself as a user really, don't like paying multiple bills to multiple providers, I know there's a radio access network, there's a fixed one. I might not want to have to choose all the time. So there's some new features coming in to help there. And then also, let's say in the edge where the service, the mobile core, where these policy control features happen. Tell me a bit about Ericsson's portfolio and what we're changing there as well.
Yeah, I think the key is to take the end user perspective, and I think what end users are looking for is the same user experience, irrespective of what access you're using. And I think that's one of the key things driving our strategy. The other thing is really for end users and operators to get an end-to-end offering. So if you want to do quality of service, you don't just want it in a piece of the network, but you want it across the network. And that's another piece of what we're putting together, sort of end-to-end solutions throughout the access side, throughout backhauling into the IP edge. So these kind of functionalities will really hit all parts of the portfolio, where perhaps the IP edge is the key part, where a lot of the smartness, the service awareness, the policy enforcement happens.
And Ericsson has had a market-leading position on the mobile side of that fence, if you look at the edge and the mobile core. And when you talk about technology like the SGSN and the GGSN, the portfolio is moving forward. And perhaps, given the acquisition of Redback, we've had a technology-leading position in the IP edge, but have yet to be the biggest player. So tell me about the future of that portfolio specifically. Where do we go with the products and the brands there?
Yeah, I think there are two major trends here. I mean, one is the trend on the mobile side you touched on, SGSN. I think signaling with the smartphones and mobile broadband is a key trend. That's why we're launching a new portfolio basically this year based on something called the Ericsson Blade server, which will significantly enhance our capacity for signaling, which is one of the key things we have to take care of and help our customers with. I think the other one is the user plane and what's happening on the IP edge. And Ericsson launched then in Barcelona this year at the Mobile World Congress the Smart Services Router. And Smart Services Router is really our vehicle to grow and to bring the scalability, the simplicity and the smartness into both the fixed and the mobile side. And that covers things like service awareness, deep packet inspection, caching functionality, and all those value-added services that you need on top of your IP Edge platform.
And you just mentioned caching. That's been a hot topic. We've discussed that with other guests as well. This area of video is dominating the traffic in the network. You're going to want to have to cache a bit closer to the user to have a more efficient network, give them a better experience. What's Ericsson's strategy in the area of content distribution and caching, and where are we going to put this in terms of the network? Where does it sit?
It's a pretty good question. I think it's not one size fits all also. I think part of what we can do and are doing also is to provide value across the network. The partnership with Akamai that we launched in Mobile World Congress is one example where we combine the leadership of Akamai in the content delivery space with our superior understanding of the mobile broadband space. We will have caching offerings also on the edge, both for fixed and mobile, but also we will have caching offerings going further out in the network, because caching is really something which will be needed in different parts of the network to optimize performance and cost structures.
Excellent. So an operator investing in this next generation edge and core technology is really investing in a solution that can help them with mobile services, different business models, video delivery, and open up lots of opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where the trend is going. It's going into a variety of different applications, all of it converging around the edge.
Excellent. So Jan, we've run out of time, but I've really enjoyed the conversation today, and hopefully we'll have you back in again in the future. And thank you everybody else for listening to IP Talk Radio. And if you have any suggestions, future episodes, please feel free to contact us at iptalkradio@ericsson.com. I've been your host, Matthew Smith, and I'll see you next time.